What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today I want to talk to you about Faraday Future. It is down 19.61%. I want to give you a breakdown of what's really influencing it and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And with that said, let's get right to it. So like I said, down 19.61%. And based on everything, it is longs closing out the positions. And how do I know that? Based on this right here, you can see there's that nice little EX right here. So under FFIE, the SEC rule, aka uptick rule, so rule 201, is basically restricting any shorts from increasing their position at times when it is down more than 10%. So just based on that fact alone, it is fair to assume that it is institutions, the last ownership, the last dying institutions holding Faraday or potentially even retail, is selling out. So as early as probably this week, it will once again be below 10 cents. So as I've been predicting for the last 2 months, possibly even 3 months, they are going to be needing to do a third reverse stock split. That's even dependent on if the NASDAQ will allow them or approve it. But essentially, they need to do a third reverse stock split to rectify now that 10-cent rule, as well as the original $1 bid price rule that they have up until June to rectify. So hopefully some of you did actually sell out based on my last couple of videos. I said that this was going to be horrific. The only hope right now is maybe a buyout, takeover, or something along those lines. But a lot of people did say in the comments, what value is there to someone do that? And actually, to be fully honest, that is very accurate. There is no real reason, no incentive. Faraday doesn't have any intellectual properties or anything to make them stand out or incentivize a takeover. So potentially this could just go down to bankruptcy route, and then this is where someone could just buy it 10 cents on the dollar. But most likely before that does occur, it'll get knocked down to OTC. As far as recent news, there has been absolutely nothing. I've been really monitoring as well just to see if any, earnings has come out, because as of right now they are due, and so that's their 2023 annual as well as their Q4. So that should have been done 2 weeks ago. They haven't done any PR to really justify on why it's being late, but ultimately if it does go down to a hearing panel route, so if Faraday does appeal their delisting, then they have to pay $20,000 to the NASDAQ. It'll go to a hearing panel. Hearing panel will ultimately look at all their conduct, including this, such as them being late on earnings. So things aren't looking good for Faraday. As soon as I saw it was down 19%, I assumed that earnings were out. But yeah, right now there's absolutely no real rhyme or reason for this to be down 19% other than institutions maybe finally looking at their portfolios and realizing that this technically is just crap. And so that's been the writing on the wall for a very long time. Aside from that though, going over some data points. So right now shorts aren't doing all that much, but I feel like Ortex is kind of messing up because it does show 109.31% being the short interest, which is a percentage of the free float. It does show it's still on the threshold list, but keep in mind yesterday the NASDAQ did disclose true numbers. So as of February the 29th, there was 13.89 million shares overall being shorted, and that worked out to be about 36.44% of the short interest of the free float. So in reality, as of February the 29th, that was the true numbers. Of course, a couple days later, they did that one for 3 reverse stock split. So this is why this number is very wrong. So it's just obviously 1 divided by 3 is probably 36 to 40% short interest right now. Cost to borrow average is 18.01% and utilization is 100%. Oddly enough, I have been watching Faraday just in and out of their chat on, for instance, StockTwits and Twitter and other places, and a lot of people are still predicting for Faraday to have a short squeeze. And I think right now there's just so little expectations, people are just grasping onto any form of hope. So it is down, like I said, 19.38%. Very low volume considering how much it is down. So 12.44 million shares have been traded, 10.05 is the average. So aside from shorts and the lack of, essentially earnings, CPI did come out, so that's kind of what kicked off the downtrend initially. But aside from that, looking at options, very little dollar value. So $406 in calls, 174 in puts. So people are maybe doing some hedging or something like that, because it looks like 2 years out, so 675 days out, people are buying call options. So maybe just a last ditch effort in anticipation that there is going to be something that does come from Faraday. But I don't know. I personally don't see that happening. So let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. If you somehow randomly really are adamant that you want to still trade Faraday, just take a look at some of these support and resistance points. So right now with it at 10 cents and change, it is between this S3 and this S2. So in theory, the next support level is 8 cents. And so that's where the death spiral will continue as of right now, because if it is below that 10 cent mark for 10 consecutive trading days, they are again on the chopping block. So you might see a emergency meeting PR come out very soon, probably either today or tomorrow, or maybe Faraday might just have given up and just is going to admit defeat and go down to OTC willingly. We'll just have to wait and see. But vice versa, if you're looking at trading this, just watch that 10.9 cents as a strong resistance level. So all in all, like I said in my last video, I really would recommend not any individuals hold this, because there's no real advantage. Like over the last little bit, they have been doing absolutely no PR. The last one is kind of random out of left field, but even aside from that, they even stopped with all the fluff PR that they were doing time and time again in December, January. So that makes this kind of scenario look so much worse, because they were just trying to fluff up their business, maybe to avoid deficiency. So all in all, I'm still sticking with my stance that you need to avoid Faraday. I could be wrong, you never know. I'm not a financial advisor, so you guys always do your own due diligence. So let me know your thoughts on Faraday and give yourself a shout out. Have you been buying? Have you been selling? What have you been doing with Faraday? And if you are, for instance, still buying, let me know why. Are you just looking at swing trading it based on the volume and just everything else, or do you legitimately believe in this company? So let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. I have seen a couple amendments as far as the expectations of their earnings. So it does look like, based on here, it was originally saying it was due on the 7th or going to be coming out on the 7th. Now it shows absolutely no even estimate on there. So I don't know. It's a crappy thing. I did start to cover Faraday, and there was a lot of high expectations and a lot of hope. Even myself, back in like August and July, around that time period, I did have a lot of high expectations for Faraday. But management, it literally does come down to management. Management fucked the pooch, pardon my French, but it literally was all of them. It's very unfortunate. They did have everything at their disposal. They could have diluted to Kingdom Come to really have the amount of cash on hand to really do everything that you need to flourish operationally. Of course, that would really screw over investors, but the fundamental business could have survived, but they didn't do anything. And once again, once the earnings do come out, we'll be able to see exactly how much they did dilute. So if they did dilute a significant amount and didn't really amount to anything operationally, then that's a double-edged just F you to investors. So let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. And one final thing, take advantage of this promo. So even though Faraday has been going down dramatically, just sign up for an account with Moonwith, throw $100 at it, and you get 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. So take advantage of this. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.